Welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today, I'm going to be going over Kim's YouTube channel called My King Yeshua and going over her prophecy fulfilled. Now, if you guys remember that she came out with a prophecy concerning the dinar, and she said that the West was not going to taste the profits of the dinar, right? And made a lot of other claims, which you guys should be seeing that video after this one. So one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because, especially with such as a big claim that she made that the West will not taste the profits of the dinar and the profits will only be in the Middle East. And we know that people have been invested since 2004. Many people have had dreams and visions and prophecies concerning the Iraqi dinar revaluation. And we know that this prophecy affects millions of people. So one of the things that God has shown me that when somebody makes a big claim like this, first of all, look at the prophecy, test the prophecy, right? And then also test their past prophecies if you are able to. So she has a fulfilled prophecy list, and we're going to go over all of them. And so here, according to her website, these are her prophecy fulfilled for 2022, 2023, and 2024. She's claiming that there's a total of 44 prophecies that have been fulfilled. So this video probably is going to be at least an hour. So I'm going to try to get through each one as quickly as possible. All right. So prophecy number 1, the dream was given July of 2023 that a man-made earthquake will occur that will be induced by CERN. She says here that it was fulfilled on September 8th. And this is when the earthquake happened in Morocco. She says, why is this earthquake more significant than others? Earthquakes happen every day. An earthquake has never happened in this area before, and so it was the first time to occur in the Marrakesh, Safi area. And I believe that the Lord was showing me that because it was a major city never hit before. The NWO is creating the way for a smart city in this area. It is also apparent that CERN and DEW were involved, which does not happen in ordinary earthquakes. So the first claim is that this is a man-made earthquake. Right? And because of what happened in Morocco, she is saying that this is a fulfilled prophecy. Well, let's actually go ahead and take a look at that prophecy and see if anything is relating to that.
And then the second dream I had also revolved around the earth shaking. And when the earth shook, the one power grid fell on top of another. And it was kind of like a domino effect of power grids falling on top of each other. And there was mass panic when this started happening because the electricity was causing sparks and sort of mini explosions because they were falling on top of each other and igniting sort of the electricity was, how electricity is when it sparks. And so, because these power grids are so big, it caused the people in the local area to become very fearful, and they fled. And I saw this particular truck. It was a big white truck, and the truck was fleeing from this particular scene, and it went onto the highway, and it was driving at such a deadly speed because it was the driver was fearful of what was happening, so he was driving very quickly, and there were other cars on the road, so it created a very dangerous scene because this driver was driving recklessly out of fear for getting away from this power grid that was falling down. And then I woke up. Now I realize that these dreams are peculiar, out of the ordinary, and when I posted my dream about Donald Trump and the alien invasion, and satellite dishes rotating, and man-made earthquakes, I know that sounds very dream sounds that I'm sharing today about CERN and satellite dishes rotating and man-made earthquakes. I know that sounds very improbable, but the Lord wanted me to share this. And power grids collapsing because the earth was shaking. So what the Lord really wanted to highlight is that this earthquake that's coming is going to be man-made.
Okay, so first of all, there's no proof that this was a man-made earthquake by CERN. And she never mentions that it was going to happen in Morocco. And all she does is explain that it never happened in this area before. But when I looked at this earthquake, and, it wasn't like power grid fell after power grid, and that's what she's claiming when you look at her prophecy fulfilled. This is her link to her video. There's nothing to suggest that this is a prophecy fulfilled, right? And, she uses like Morocco seeks membership with CERN. That doesn't have anything to do with this earthquake. Now, let me share some things. There's 55 earthquakes a day around the world, and they're all hitting in areas that it's never hit before. Okay, you can go and look at, there's different websites, even through our government, and you can look at the daily earthquakes that are happening. They're just not always hitting populated areas. Now, Morocco's actually the size of California, 37 million people. And you know what? Even this past week, there's been earthquakes in that area. Okay, so you can look here, the number of earthquakes in that area. In the past 3 years, 917 quakes. Past 10 years, 954. Right, you can see here there's a map of some other, this was that main earthquake that happened, and these are past earthquakes. So yes, past earthquakes have been close. There's one right here that was pretty close in the area, but according to this website, the number of recent quakes in the past 10 years is 954. So I'm trying to figure out, this prophecy that she's saying is fulfilled, because it doesn't look like to me that the prophecy is fulfilled. So if I was looking at this and I listened and looked at all this, to me, this is not a prophecy fulfilled. And she said power grid after power grid. That's not what this earthquake did. And all these other things are just distractions from the prophecy. All right, so now we're going to go over prophecy numbers 2 through 8. Now, this is, I think, one of the most important prophecies that we're going to be looking at, because I think this determines a lot about what is being shared, and as far as any future prophecies too as well. Because I do think that there's a lot of misinterpretation, there's a lot of misapplication, and a lot of misleading, whether it's done on purpose or not, and that trying to connect dots that actually are not there. So on this particular number 2 through 8, she claims that a prophetic word was given November of 2022 that there will be a massive event that will occur on the 23rd of December. And she claims that it was fulfilled on the 23rd of December. She claims that the storm occurred on the Federal Reserve's birthday, which is on the 23rd of the economic storm, as mentioned by DJT, that a storm is coming. The storm is documented as once in a generation storm, and it has its own Wikipedia page. So do other storms. Most storms do not have Wikipedia pages unless they are extremely significant. The storm also began unnatural weather phenomenon seen all throughout 2023. The birthing pains of a new system is what she said. Okay, so the storm itself, right before we go any further, started on December the 21st. All right, and it ran through December the 26th. So the storm was already formed and coming, and that's significant when we get into some of the other things. When I looked up how much the storm cost, according to this Wikipedia page, it was only $8.5 billion. I saw news articles that said up to $15 billion. Now, is it the worst storm ever? Well, Texas winter storm said here could cost up to $200 billion, more than Hurricane Harvey and Ike. There's actually other storms that, especially storms in the past or many years ago, given for inflation, would have been worse than the one that happened in 2022. Right? So there's plenty of articles. I've read a lot of these different articles concerning some of these different storms, and there's a lot of storms that were actually worse than the one that had taken place. Now, the whole thing about her winter storm and her prophecy hinges on really what she said was supposed to happen. And there's a difference. Now, I want to go over these different videos. Okay. Now, she said that on December 23rd, that 1.5 million customers were without power. Right? Okay. There's 330 million people in this country. I don't know if you break it down by families, there were way more people that still had power during Christmas and during this time period. It actually affected a number of airports, but it didn't affect every single airport. People still could fly if they were going to other areas. Okay? And yes, as always, during any winter storm, no matter what month it is, it's going to force thousands of cancellations. And we have seen that over the years. I live close to Chicago, so I've seen, where the Chicago airport was shut down, where thousands upon thousands of flights were canceled or delayed. It says airports were in chaos, which further disturbed Christmas. Okay, anybody who was trying to fly to or from any of those airports that were shut down because of the storm, it would have been chaos, right? But there were still people still traveling all over the world, still people traveling in and out of the United States if they weren't going to those areas. Christmas wasn't disrupted for many Americans, right? And it says here, air travel will be disrupted. Okay, well, let's take a look at some of the things that you are saying concerning that. Now, this video here, which she links, is not really this was posted on December the 26th. It's just, all it is she's saying that this is what she saw, right? Okay, great shaking is coming, chaos, Christmas will be spoiled. They will remove the wealth out of Christmas equals blackouts. Flights will cease, long queues for flights. 23 4 times, storm peak equals December the 23rd. Well, that's not, well, we're going to get into what she actually said about December 23rd. Cleveland, Ohio. All right, so that we can discount that particular video. Let's go to this other one where it says air travel stops dream. It says here, prophetic dream, wealth transfer, right? My King Yeshua, grounded financial collapse. Okay, she doesn't say anything in this video. Okay, prophetic dream, December 22nd, 2022. So she had this prophetic dream when the storm had already started. Okay, she actually posted this December the 23rd. So she was quick to post this dream. And when you take a look at a lot of the other dreams and stuff that she's posted, she always says she waits. Like the one with the Iraqi dinar, she claims she waited 6 weeks. But this one, she posted it immediately. And she tries to connect this dream to what was already happening here in the United States as far as the airports. So she said, I dreamt the airports were completely abandoned. All right, so the airports actually were not completely abandoned. All right, because in a lot of the other parts of the United States, there was still the hustle and bustle of flights coming in and out. All right, there may have been a certain number of major airports that were closed, but that does not mean that all the airports were completely abandoned. And she doesn't say anything about snow in this dream. People had bought tickets to fly abroad, and when they arrived at the airport, no staff was present. The airport was abandoned. The people looked everywhere, but the airport staff was not present. The only person present was a caretaker cleaner. So, once again, this did not happen across all airports. So the people returned home very puzzled without taking a flight. Okay. Well, why would they be puzzled, right? If this is related to that, why would they be puzzled if there's a snowstorm? Nothing worked for a while. Aircrafts remained grounded. Whatever that means. Maybe there was a computer hack that shut down all the airplanes. She said nothing worked for a while. So obviously something wasn't working, right? This did not happen on December the 23rd or December the 21st to the 26th, where nothing was working for a while. When the people were told they could come back to the airport, there was long rows and rows of queues, and everyone stood waiting for their turn to be called to board. Most people were not allowed to board. The queues remained for a while. Okay. Now, of course, it didn't really take that long after the storm had passed and they cleared everything. And so there's nothing else that's actually said as far as concerning this dream. I think this dream was misinterpreted and misapplied to her December 23rd prophecy. In this next video, 7 warnings given in this video. Okay, so this is really important. And we're going to go over and play some of these things. I've listened to the video multiple times because I wanted to make sure that I got this right. And this is very important concerning what she is claiming the prophecy fulfilled. So in the beginning here, it says December 23rd, 2022, America, MAGA, are you ready? So what is that implying, right? Implying something. She has the date here, December 23rd. She's got the Phoenix and fire. Brace, brace, brace. Okay. Now, just looking at that by itself, did anybody feel like it was so significant that it affected everybody? We're getting ready to listen here. She said, God wants me to tell you 7 things, 7 messages for America, that these were warnings. Not everything in here is a warning. And I want you guys to really listen to what is being said and apply this to what she's saying about the storm and everything else. And did any of these events that she is claiming is supposed to happen on December 23rd, did they happen?
So the first thing of the 7 things that I should let you know is that there will be a great shaking on the 23rd of December, which is tomorrow, as I am recording this message on the 22nd of December.
So I do want to make clear, because if you go back to her other videos, this is what she said. She said warning, and she started giving these warnings back in November. This is the beginning of December. Massive shaking December 2022 and January of 2023. Okay? And you can go on her videos. You know, she's promoting this December 23rd date. She is claiming that in this particular prophetic dream that the markets are going to collapse. This was December the 19th, right? It's the 16th of December. Prophetic dream 7 days away from December 23rd. She dreamt of Wall Street collapsing. Then the dream changed. Then she saw a Chinese postage stamp. And then the dream ended. Okay, so she's saying that she had this dream on the 16th. And it's note that we're 7 days away from December the 23rd. She didn't give any details. She just saw Wall Street collapsing. And then the dream changed. And then she saw this Chinese postage stamp. So this right here, she's basically trying to connect this dream to December the 23rd and January. She posts a short clip here. There's nothing but music. She posted this video on Rumble. So she's making assumptions that something big, major is going to happen. Here again on December the 22nd, same thing. Not saying anything, just blowing the shofar, and nothing major. That's all it is, right? December 23rd, major event. This was December the 24th. She's alluding to the fact that there's supposed to be some type of black swan event, and so we didn't see that in December or in January. Then on December the 24th, she claims here that this is the storm, that the flight ceased and all that. As she's going over this, she basically quoted this comment. The 23rd was certainly significant, at least this here in the United States, the worst winter storm in history. It's not the worst winter storm in history, right? And there's been more flights canceled during other events, right? So trying to connect this storm to what she actually says, what I'm getting ready to share with you, you'll see that this has nothing to do with what she actually says was supposed to happen. Right? So people need to research this stuff before they just accept it for what it is. All right, so December the 23rd, 2022 was supposed to be a great shaking.
A great shaking presentation will focus on summarizing the 6 weeks and pulling the key dates together. So the first thing of the 7 things that I should let you know is that there will be a great shaking on the 23rd of December, which is tomorrow, as I am recording this message on the 22nd of December. So tomorrow there will be a great shaking. And the first thing that the Lord wanted me to share really is an encouragement for America. America, do not be discouraged with the birthing pains. The pain is necessary.
Okay, the first thing was there a great shaking during that time period? Did you feel shooken here in the United States because of what was happening in certain parts of the United States?
The woman is full of child and the child must come out. So, like with a pregnant woman, where there is a period of intense travailing and pressure on her body, then afterwards there's joy and thanksgiving. So I just want to encourage every American, whatever you hear in the news, whatever comes to your country, it is in the will of God, and God is going to look after his church. And to not be discouraged when you see negativity in the news.
Okay, so she's making it seem like there's going to be this huge event and everybody's going to be shaken.
Because these birthing pains must come before the next things that God has in store for America are positioned. The shaking will help awaken those that have been asleep for a while, particularly those in the secular world, the liberals. So shaking can look negative in the natural, but sometimes shaking does something as well to the population. So it will force people to awake, and sometimes shaking is not a good thing if you're not awake, but if you are awake, it's a necessary thing.
So were liberals shaken? Did people on the left awaken? I don't think so. There was no awakening among the liberals in the left side because of the winter storm.
So I just want to encourage you that it will work out for your advantage. So it's not just for the secular world that will be shaken awake, it is also for the churches. Remember that regardless if you are secular or in the church, God loves everybody, and he desires to see all his children come to his saving understanding and knowledge.
Okay, so was there awakening in the church because of that storm? Was there any event that caused an awakening for the church?
Come to the wisdom of the gospel. Come to the fullness and the richness of what the gospel teaches. He desires to help everyone. God's heart is for everybody. He's not a respecter of persons. So it's an encouragement to say that whatever's coming tomorrow and in January is going to be for your good, America.
So I'm still trying to figure out what happened in January. And I'm still trying to figure out how the storm between that started on December the 21st and ended on the 26th, how it was an awakening for the church and an awakening for liberals.
So do not tremble with the fire. Okay, so the Lord wants me to say that he's with you always, America. You are a covenant nation. He has not forgotten you, and he will not forget you, because you are in covenant with him. You are a covenant nation, just like how Israel is a covenant nation, America is a covenant nation.
Except when it comes to Iraqi dinar, because we're greedy over here in the West.
And the red bits are what I heard audibly.
And this is important when it comes to audible words, right? She said she heard Cleveland, Ohio, and that was just it, just Cleveland, Ohio. All right, that's important because she tries to connect two prophecies or two events or prophecy fulfilled just from that, and claims that all of these are connected to one another, right? What happened on the 23rd, Russia.
So here is, to make the listeners understand a little bit more, there will be two events. The first event, which will be the 23rd of December, they're going to remove the wealth out of Christmas. Right? They're going to remove the wealth out of Christmas this year. That is what is planned.
Okay, so did they remove the wealth out of Christmas? Did this event with the airports and all that remove the wealth out of Christmas? Did we have Christmas the year after that? Yes, we did. And it didn't stop people from celebrating Christmas. I remember we celebrated Christmas, so they didn't remove the wealth. But for the most part, most of the United States was celebrating Christmas.
And expect, because there's going to be two events, expect two market crashes. So you will see Wall Street plummet twice because of the two events. When there is war and political uncertainty, it creates a ricochet or a ripple effect in the stock market. The stock market reacts to events. So the two events, there'll be two market crashes.
Okay, so did we see two market crashes, whether it was December the 23rd or January the 3rd? And also, too, she said full circle, which will be important here a little bit later. But we did not have two market crashes.
This is going to cause some intense unrest. The birthing pains, and, after the child has come out, it will cause public unrest because the people who are not awake are going to feel, a certain way, and that will cause an unrest, a public unrest.
Okay, so was there a public unrest on either one of these dates? Was there a public unrest because of the storm? And we go back to the very beginning, where there was supposed to be an awakening with the church and a shaking, and also too with the liberals and all that. Did that happen? None of that happened. She actually leaves that out of this prophecy. She doesn't mention any of those things as far as the church and the liberals being awakened. She's applying some prophecies that have nothing to do with this. She's trying to connect dots to prophecies that aren't there. So to me, this is kind of disturbing. Because it just seems like that there's always a stretch to try to confirm your prophetic words. Okay, she talks about the ISO 2022. People have been talking about that for years. Not sure if she knows that or not. And also, too, full circle. And what she meant by that is everything is coming to full circle because December 23rd is the date of the birth of the Federal Reserve System. Nothing happened as far as that. And so there was no market crash, there's no change in the financial system or anything like that. So she's going over these moons, and she's actually using Elon tweets as a confirmation to her that these events are going to happen. So this is why, to me, when it comes to numerology and trying to connect things with the moon and trying to connect, whether it's people's tweets or people's words or whatever the case, a lot of this stuff, in my experience, these dates never work out. So she has this prophecy, dreams, vision. She's saying that December 23rd, 2022, war/stock market, nothing happened. Witness was Yana Prey, and the angel/God gave her those dates for specific digital assets. Well, nothing happened on that day as far as Yana Prey. And if many people don't remember, as I noted here, her videos that she gave prophetic dates, and those dates came and gone and nothing happened. Many of you remember that, right? She said December 23rd, January 3rd/4th, right? Those were supposed to be significant dates when Shiba Inu was supposed to rise and some other things, right? But that never happened, and that wasn't the only time she gave dates and nothing happened. So I made, on this particular video that she had made for December the 23rd, I had put on there as far as what I felt about dates. This was before I already kind of knew that when people give dates and time frames and stuff like that, it more than likely is not coming to pass. So she used that as a confirmation. Again, she's making it seem like there's this big storm that has nothing to do with snow at all whatsoever that's supposed to be happening. And so, when we go back to this prophecy fulfilled, to me, this is not a prophecy fulfilled. And in this, too, she said Cleveland, Ohio will be implicated, right? And she describes this accident that happened in Sandusky County. And if I've lived in Ohio before, so when you actually look at Cleveland and where it's at, and look at where Sandusky County is, it's 84 miles away, so it's almost an hour and a half away. All right, so Sandusky County is not Cleveland, Ohio. All right, that is like saying Rockford is in Chicago, Illinois, or Kankakee is in Chicago, and it's not. It's two separate cities. So when she claims to hear that she audibly heard Cleveland, Ohio, then this event should have happened in Cleveland, Ohio. And her audible prophecy didn't give any specifics. She just heard Cleveland, Ohio. So when I look at this is not a prophecy fulfilled according to what she said, because there was supposed to be a great awakening. There was supposed to be chaos and all this financial loss, market crashes, and everything else. So I'm dismissing every single one of these prophecies. So prophecies 2 through 8, I am completely dismissing.